All right. Aloha, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I know all of you know me. I'm Sarah. It's so good to see all of you. Thursday morning is my favorite time. And it's my most favorite when I'm able to actually be here, be present at home, like all of you, or like some of us, right? So, you know, when you're here and you're able to like have your video on and plug in and all of that, it feels really good. So this morning, we are going to talk about our system. We are going to talk about the simplicity of our system, how to do our system, what that looks like, what it feels like, and how easy and simple it really can be if you just do it consistently every day. So myself and Kristen and Katie are going to be sharing, and then we're going to go ahead and open it up at the end of that if we still have time for kind of questions or comments or things that are working for you or things that aren't working for you, so that we can help each other. Because I feel like that's when we grow so much, is when we leverage each other's experiences in order to learn more and grow. So what I want to talk about first is really ITT and our system that not only LifeVantage created, but is really the system of just sharing information. We call it ITT, which stands for Invite, Tool, Team. And what that looks like is, you know, it's funny, sorry to diverge for 1 second. I want to tell you what it looked like for me, or what it looks like for me on a daily basis. Sometimes, as I was explaining to my mom, because I'm on the phone all the time, right? I'm on the phone, I'm trying to do life at the same time. And I was explaining it that when someone pops in my head, whether I'm on my social media or I'm thinking about someone, or I look at something in my house that reminds me of someone, to me, that is an instant reminder to either invite them at that moment, follow up at that moment, or make sure that I write them down in my database. So they say, don't leave your fortune to your memory. And it's really, really true. So get organized. That's the first thing. Get organized, whatever that looks like for you. What it could look like and should look like is the app, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. But also, some people have a database on an Excel spreadsheet. Some people have their database in their phone. Some people have their database on in a notebook on the side. So however it is that you get organized, get organized. When that person pops into your head, write them down or invite them right there. And the invite looks like a tiny little sentence telling them that you want to share something with them. You tell them that you want to share something with them. They say yes or no. Yes, I have time. Great. Send it to me. No, I don't. I'm going to go a little bit more into the invite in just a second, but they respond in some way. And then your job is to connect them to a tool. That tool could look like a video, which we're not calling a video, right? We're calling a presentation, right? Or a, what did Lori say? She called it, if you remember, put it in the chat. She said,
ABC Primetime Investigative News Report.
Exactly, Primetime Investigative Report, if you're gonna send the ABC, right? So you send them a tool. It also could look like the three-way call. You could bypass a tool altogether if they're ready to get on a call and they say, yes, I'd love to hear what you're doing. You could invite your upline right away, right? And have your upline be the tool. And then you've got your tool and your third-party validation at the same time, right? So it's really a simple, structured system. Invite somebody to hear the information with just a sentence or two. Send them a tool or invite them to a tool, and then connect them to your upline right away. Right away. The quicker you connect them, the sooner that they're going to understand what's happening, right? You can go back and forth with texts over and over again, but the quicker you get them on the phone with somebody, the easier. So I know that people have said, well, it's so awkward to be like, hey, I want you to talk to my business partner and my friend, whatever. That's fine. If you don't feel comfortable saying, hey, I want to get my business partner on the phone so that they can explain this to you, that's fine. Just get them on the phone. And then once they're on the phone, or right before you're supposed to talk to them, you say, hey, by the way, I hope it's okay. I invited my business partner to join us because they have an incredible way of explaining this, or I want them to share their story with you, right? That's a really great way to just get it done and not have it feel awkward or any of that. The other thing about the invite is it's really important to connect with your upline about your invite. Because what we found is that for the first journey of your leg in this business, you don't really know what to say. And most of the time we say too much, right? They say less to more people. So what that means is a one-liner, right? Maybe it's 2 or 3 liners. I thought of you because right? You want to connect with them. You want to be authentic. Why did you think of them? Why are you texting them? Are you texting them because they're a business mogul? Are you texting them because they have thyroid issues? Are you texting them because whatever the reason is, I thought of you because ... I have something that could help you. Will you take a look? Will you listen, right? But if you send your upline your message before you send it, chances are there's going to be 1 or 2 little sentences or 1 or 2 little words that you could change, right? So that it might be more effective, because there's some of us who've been doing this a long time, right? So anyway, reach out to your upline for the invite. Keep it simple, say less to more people. And the most important thing, if you write one thing down and take one thing away from this, do something every day. Every day, right? It's not hard. That's why I feel like I'm on my phone all the time, because every time I think of somebody, I'm inviting them. So my 10 invites a day happens naturally throughout my day, because every time I think of somebody, I'm inviting them, or I'm writing them down and inviting them right after, right? So if you just do a little bit, it only takes 10 minutes, right? Set a timer if that's what you need. Do a little bit every day. Keep it simple. Okay. I also wanted to show you real quick. I wanted to show you, in case you are an app person, I want to share my screen with you. I just hope it pops up. Please be the right share. This is what I want to share. Can someone give me a thumbs up if you can see this, if you can see my website? Great. Okay. Thanks, Tina. All right. If you go to your back office and you type in the little search bar right here, right, the little magnifying glass, ITT, this is what's going to come up. Mobile app prospecting and IT guide. It literally takes you through step by step, adding a new contact, right? And Kamili's done this for us before, Kamal's done this for us before, but if you need it spelled out so you can look at it in detail form, look, you add a prospect, you say what their interest is, right? You click where you're at with them. I'm going through this quickly because I don't want to waste time, because you can find this yourself, right? It shows you exactly what to do with your contact, exactly how to take them through the process of ITT. Why are they interested? Why did you think of them, right? Where are you at in your contact with them? How do you want to contact them, right? Conversation started. What's next? Are they interested? Do they need more information? Have they already enrolled, right? So this is just taking you through how to do it, right? How to do ITT through the app if that's what you choose to do, right? So I just wanted to show you how accessible that is and how easy that is to see. Really don't think too hard about this. If you get bogged down with how exactly to invite and what exactly to say and long drawn out invites, you're gonna get lost. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna get worn out, and it's not gonna be as easy as it can be. So keep it simple. All right. Have fun with it and be authentic and be you, and tell people why you thought of them. Really, because if you don't tell them why you thought of them, they're gonna think you're just trying to sell them something, right? Explain to them why them, why now. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Kristen Algren so she can explain to us a little bit more about our simple system. So Kristen, go ahead.
Aloha, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for listening to the recording if you are doing that. And yeah, we just talked about what we wanted to share on this call, and we just really want to get back to the basics, because that is how we are going to have success. And the more we do the basics and the simple system, the more we're going to grow, right? And I just want to share that I am one of the most disorganized people. If I were to turn around my desk right now and you were to see all the little scraps and, papers, you would be appalled that a Pro 7 is so disorganized. But I follow the system in my disorganized fashion. I've an invite tool team. And the more that we do that, the more you're going to have success. And I want to say, in the past 4 years, I've seen a lot of people come in and a lot of people leave. And they quit too soon because, we start getting the no's and the crickets, and people realize that it's going to be a little bit harder than they realized, and they give up too soon. But what they don't realize is probably right around the corner is a big yes, right? So just for those of you that are brand new, just know that we've all been through it and we just kept going. And I promise you, you will have success if you are coachable and you follow the system. So, and another thing that I've seen is a lot of times, and I even did it myself, most of us do it. You come in and you have all these other ideas of how you're going to succeed. And it's great to embellish the wheel, but don't reinvent it. It's the system is there for a reason. So I was going to talk about really the tool and getting the third party, how the importance of it. Sarah covered it a little bit, but I'll just give my take on it. So the tool, we have the invite, right? The tool can be several things. The tool could even be, like Sarah said, it could be getting your upline or sideline or whoever you feel resonates with that person on a Zoom right away. That's still a tool. You're going to give them the information. The tool can also be not a video, a presentation, an opportunity presentation that you're going to send them. It can be the ABC prime time. It could be whatever you feel is going to resonate with that person. And something, if you're new, is good to ask someone who's been in the business for a while. Okay, this person is a landscaper, and I really want to share this opportunity. It's a man. What video do you think would work for this person? Because we have a lot of, presentations in our arsenal that we could help you for that particular person. It could be a home meeting. So I know those of you who are in Hawaii, you know our home meetings that have been around for a while. This is something that if you don't live in our area, you can start doing those. If you feel comfortable, obviously the world today is crazy, but we literally started off doing home meetings. We had no idea what we were doing. It was Katie, Sarah, and I, and we started inviting people. We had no clue, and we said, okay, you talk about the company, and you talk about the business, and you talk about the science. And we figured it out as we went. And so if you're the only person, you can invite some people to your house, and you could Zoom in one of us, someone that you feel comfortable to do part of the presentation or even all of it. So just know that that is a possibility, and that's a huge tool, and that's third-party validation right there as well. We have our opportunity Zooms. We have them every Wednesday. That is a tool. Those are great ways to get people to hear the information. So yeah, there's several ways. So the third party validation, like Sarah was saying, it's hard. I find that it's hard for people to really get it right away. But the more you do it and the faster you do it, the more it's going to work. And I've looked back in my business and my journey, for the most part, generally, the people who have come into my organization have had a third party. I still don't like to do it by myself. I still am asking people to jump on calls with me, because if you think about it, it's just human nature, right? I've told this story before, this analogy. If you're at Nordstrom Rack and you see a purple purse, or, if you're a man, a really cool belt, and you're looking at it and you're not sure about it, and then all of a sudden you see two other people go to that item, all of a sudden your brain perks up and you think, oh, wait, no, I do want that, right? So it's having another individual, someone that doesn't necessarily, because that person that you're talking to knows you and just you, but to have other eyes and another way of hearing it is really going to open up someone to the possibility generally. And it's nice for people to meet especially on the business side, who they're going to be working with. Right. And so that's how I word it is I would love to have you meet my friend and business partner. This is someone that if you were open to it, who you would be working with. And it definitely really opens people up when you get them. So edification for the third party call or Zoom, it's really, really important to edify. And people ask what, even Arik, my husband, what do you mean by that? Well, it's really just saying nice, positive things about both people. And so I think it's important to edify the guest first, your friend. You want to make them feel special and important. And it's good to have the edification process be what the two people that you have on have in common. So if you're an entrepreneur and you invited your entrepreneur upline or sideline, she is a business owner. This person has been with the company for 4 years and is having a lot of success. If they're moms, she's a mom of 3 and she's a mom of 4, something that they can relate to. Personality traits, that's always, really nice. People want to feel loved on both sides. And so edifying and just keeping it short, just a few sentences and edifying the guest, and then your upline, sideline, whoever. And as far as the third party call goes, if I'm inviting someone to a third party call, I have my guest and I have, let's say, Daisy on the call. I just want to share a little bit about my story if they haven't heard it, just a couple minutes. And then what I like to do, if I'm the person invited to be the third party, I like to start with asking questions. So thank you so much for taking the time. What have you heard? What do you like? What do you do? Just get the person talking, kind of see where they're at. And then after the person, shares their story, then just, sharing just a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes, ask a question. So it's not like a full opportunity because it's a smaller group. So you can really be engaging and have more of a conversation. And then ending with, I really liked how Sarah, and I use this now, especially if someone's interested in the business opportunity, is, I find a lot of people they don't know. They're either afraid, they don't have the time, they think that they don't have the money. So I really like to say, if you're thinking about the business, if the Rolodex in your head is going on of people that you want to share this with, you can come in at a package, right? And you get a huge discount. And what that does is it gives you access to our training calls, to the team. It does not mean you have to start right away. It's just going to give you access so you can be a fly on the wall and see what the heck is going on in our organization, to see if it's something that you want to do. So I feel like that's worked for me the past few times. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all that I have. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to pass it on to Katie, my sister, who introduced this to me, and I told her I am absolutely not doing the business.
And look at you now. Aloha, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Nice to see you all here today. That was amazing. Thank you, Sarah and Kristen. And I'm just going to start with a little quote that I saw that Angie Huntley posted. And it said, people don't have the patience to build a business for 3 years, but they have the patience to go to work for 40 years. So I thought, let's let that sink in when we're talking about, putting energy and time towards this business. Do we want to build something for 2 to 5 years and let it kind of run on its own? Or do we want to go to work for 40 years? I think I'll take the first one. Little did I know, when I said yes to this, that is what I was building, because I honestly had no idea what network marketing was like or how to build this and how to do it. But, it's, we've learned, and just to share with you, like, do the time blocking, do the, you don't have to be on your phone all day. I know with my kids, they're like, Mom, you're always on your phone. You're built, I'm like, well, I am building my business, and it looks a little different now than it did in the beginning. But if we really get down to it, and like, how much time are we spending on these Zooms? There's the recordings if it's an inconvenient time. So in reality, when you're just starting, you could build this business in just, a few hours a week. There's 3 to 5 Zooms that we like to get on during the week. Our TGA Monday Zoom, this Zoom, the Wednesday opportunity Zoom, there's the flip the switch, and those are all just like 30 minutes. So if you think of that, and then, commit to an hour a day of inviting and following up and doing the personal development, and so really it's not that much time. I mean, look at Sarah, for instance. She built this while she taught full time, while she's coached and has her kids and played sports. And she's like the most social person ever. And she built this doing all that. So just remember, even if your life feels really busy, just stick it in the nooks and crannies, and do what you need to do, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Do something every single day for your business or for yourself. So I was just going to go over the time blocking. It really doesn't take much time. I know as our organizations grow, we're needed in other areas, like for those 3-way calls, for the follow-ups. Like right now some of us are doing 10 a day, which is a little daunting because now I have 60 people to now go back to follow up with, which I'm not counting as my 10 a day, but there's a lot of people in my pipeline. So like today after this, I'm going to, set aside 30 minutes to follow up with people that I've already reached out to this month. And what does a follow-up look like? They say fortune is in the follow-up. Fortune is in the follow-up. If you don't follow up, there's no business, really. A distributor said to me recently, well, when do I stop following up? And I said, the first thing that came to me was until they sign up. I mean, until they're dead, or until they are like, absolute no, I want nothing to do with you. Then I would like give them a big cross off on my list. But honestly, until they sign up or until they really hear the information, we can't discredit them because their lives might change. Something might change in their health or their financial situation. So it's always a good time to circle around and check in on them. And some of the follow-ups that we've heard of from Lori a couple of weeks ago is, like, for me, I've been doing this for 5 years. So I can say, I've been doing this business for 5 years now. The testimonies are mind-blowing of what I've heard and seen and know. The business is working. I'm still here. So that for me, I can come from that angle. But for someone brand new, you can come from the angle of, something like wellness and staying healthy is at the forefront of people's minds. I want to make sure that you and your loved ones have this information, and be urgent, be excited. People want to hear that what you want to share with them is exciting and that they're going to benefit from it. They don't, like Sarah and Kristen said, people don't want to feel sold, but they want to feel that you genuinely are coming to them because you're caring about them. And what Sarah said about when someone comes into your mind or your heart, like, there's a reason. So I do the same thing. I always am like, okay, I need to reach out to that person for whatever reason. So write those names down. Maybe you do your follow-up right then. And another one I like is, I'm trying to help as many people as I can. Are you open to taking a look? And that could be an invite or a follow-up. And then I was just going to go quick. Kristen did a lot on the launches and the 3-way calls, but I also like to say, let's set up an appointment, let's set up an appointment. And like Sarah McDermott does sometimes, she doesn't even tell them that someone's going to be on the phone. She just says, oh, hey, I brought my business partner here too. She can help answer some questions. blah, 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 blah. So, because it kind of makes people a little uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to be on the phone with this, stranger, but just surprise them and have someone on the phone and say, I invited Kristen here because she knows a little bit more than me, blah, blah, blah. But always edify each other. I think that's so important. And I think what's really important is honoring people's time, because people are busy. People don't necessarily want to be on a launch call for more than 20, 30 minutes. So just honor the time that we're sharing with each other, that I said it'd be 20 minutes, it's going to be 20 minutes. We're not going to go over and bore people with long drawn out information. A lot of this information that people are hearing goes right over their head. They might pick up little tidbits on some of the info, but they're there and they're getting a feeling from you. What is the feeling they're getting when they're being presented the info or with your third party? So I'm going to end there. I love you all. And let's see, we have 1 minute until our time's up. Does anyone want to add anything?
I love it. Thank you, Katie. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Does, that was going to be where we go from here, is really like an opportunity to have everyone have the chance to ask questions or comment on what's working. Like I just saw Julia put in the chat that she got 2 customers from following up for 6 months. Like, if anybody wants to unmute and share something that's happened recently that's worked or not worked or what have you, please, please, please feel free to do that now. You can put it in the chat, but this is kind of our time now to just talk story and ask questions. If you have to go, thank you for coming and listening and learning, and I hope it's working for you. And please, please always know that you can reach out to any of us. Katie, Kristen, and I are basically all of your uplines. And if we're not, sidelines, what have you, but I know there's also many, many leaders on here. And, those of you that have hit Pro 3 and up, you're pretty much there. You're ready to be able to help be that third party, and lots of times if you feel like you're ready. So anyone want to unmute and
I
share?
just wanted to add something. I think it was mentioned, but it's so important to raise your hand and just reach out. The more you reach out to the people you're working with, the better. Because especially as we get busier, there's a lot of people that we're working with, right? But we want to work with the people who want to work. And it's sometimes hard to know that, to be honest. So the more that you reach out, and even the littlest things, like, how do you like this invite, or this person Googled this, how would I reply? How would you to follow up with this one? What would you send to this person? Just the littlest things. Like, please don't be afraid to reach out. And the more you raise your hand, the better.
Yes, totally. That's so true. Like Julie McAfee, you like send me the cutest, sweetest little messages. And I know how hard you're working because you're constantly messaging me, asking me questions. Even if it's just saying hello, it means that you're working. So I love it. Thank you. Keep doing that. One thing I wanted to mention too, that I know I put in the chat after Kristen spoke, but I think it's really, really important. And I have like the biggest problem with this. So I'm really telling myself this, but it just happened to me yesterday. When you bring someone onto a third party call, you need to zip it. Zip it. Like even Mark Shinsato says he has 3-way calls and he mutes himself. So like I had a friend of mine on a 3-way call yesterday, and Daisy was my third party validation. And I knew everything she was saying. I could have said it, but I'm like his big sister. So for him to hear it from me is not as poignant, right? He's already talked to me 5 times, right? He's already listened to me. So literally we were on, and we weren't even on a Zoom, we were on a 3-way call, and I muted almost the entire time. And it was really hard for me. There were like, did you guys hear my mom just yelled, yeah. Oh, she's in the kitchen. So, I mean, it was hard. Multiple times I wanted to unmute and be like, yes, exactly. And there's so many things I wanted to say, but you know what I did? I wrote them down. And I kept them in my brain for later. I made sure that Daisy said them, or I can go back and say something later when we group text, but you have to mute. They've already heard you. You are their person, right? They know you, they know your experience. They've been watching you. So like Kristen said, let the other person share. Mute, 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 mute. All right. Anybody else want to talk? I can mute if anybody else wants to talk.
Mine is totally off subject. Can I say something? So I've been doing the eye bright since the Saturday it came out. So what's that? A week and a couple days. And I just want to say last night I saw the moon in a very long time without having to do this to stretch out my eyeball and or this to see it. I was like, this stuff works. It really works. So I told my story and the people were like, that's nice.
And that might be how they respond to you for a while. That's nice. I mean, if you've been in this business more than a couple of days, you know that this is kind of a hard business when it comes to people understanding it. Network marketing has a bad rap, we all know that. So if you can get past that and you know why you're doing this, you will last a lot longer. Let those knocks down build you up even stronger. Got it?
So I was telling the story for the first time because I was going to do it on a Facebook thing, but it was way too wordy. So I need to practice in the mirror. But even Steve, my partner, was like, I've been on it for a week and I don't feel anything different. And I was like, sucks for you.
Perfect. I love it.
But eyebright's working. I don't know if anybody else is using it or has seen a change, but for months I haven't seen it. I even went to the doctor and was like, I can't see. They're like, you're beautiful. There's nothing wrong. And I'm like, there's something wrong. I have to squint to see to the end of my yard. And now I don't have to.
I love it. Congratulations. My husband started today, so we'll let you know how that's going. Anybody else before we say bye? Anybody want to tell us your tricks of the trade? Julia, you want to tell us how you got your customers and what's been going on for you?
Perseverance. I just, I just realized that as y'all say, to drip to people very small amounts, because I've already done the blah that nobody wants to, have to hear about. And then I just get very dismissive about it. I kind of blow them off a little bit about it. And then finally my friend came back. But I will say this, when they were having that mental health talk the other night, and Melissa was kind enough to help me figure out how to put it on my Instagram story with a thing where they could vote if they wanted more information to get the Zoom link. One of these people was one of my best friends, and she sent me a message saying, I feel like I've been having some depression and mental health issues I haven't wanted to talk about. I'm very interested. So just by seeing that little advertisement, which actually plays into a question I'd typed into the chat, Ed, who's one of Clint's distributors, who is on this call, yay Ed, he had asked earlier today about where you can find, when you see people advertising little things on Facebook, is there a place to go to find all of those images?
Kamaili, do you want to speak to that?
Oh, how'd you know I did? First and foremost, check your app. It's got almost everything that you would ever want. Review everything in there and get familiar with things. Even if you don't watch the whole thing, you know that it's at your fingertips. That's a really brilliant way to do it. And then secondly, we start something where we had a folder, but if you want, I have something for my team where I just kind of keep adding to things. Another way that all of us do, and majority of everybody across the board throughout LifeVantage, is if you follow them and you snapshot, maybe their storyboard, or actually take their little story and tweak it and make it your own off of other people's posts. A lot of times those are, it's like free game. Everybody's like, please share. So if you feel uncomfortable because you don't know that person, I would often, like on Facebook, I would actually reach out to them and just say, hey, I saw this post. It was great. I know that it'll apply to somebody. Carrie just did this to me the other day. Can I please share this post? And 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, I get a yes. So please know that, especially your tropical biohackers, if anything we post you see, it is game on. You can borrow, clip, cut and paste. You can use anything that we have, and or save it for later in a file so that you can use it at a time where maybe not everybody's sharing the same message at the same moment.
Awesome, thank you. And I think Kristen put it in the chat, but pretty much everybody in this company is okay with you snapshotting their stories and resharing them. That's what we all do. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys know where to find the information. So like if you go to your app, right? If you're at your app and you hit library, sorry, I'm on feature. If you hit library right here on the bottom, and then there's all these categories, right? Favorites, new, featured, documents, and you can kind of scroll this way. And then for each category, like here's customer, there's a customer category. And for each category, there's subcategories, blogs, opportunity, Axio, like here's all the Axio ads, general life Vantage stuff. So all of that is in there. You can also search. Thank you, Katie. You can also search on there. But can I just see a show of hands real quick? Is anybody interested in doing, if we were to do a kind of app and back office training? I know lots of new customers have been asking, or no, not new customers, new distributors have been asking for, okay, great. So I'm not sure if we're gonna do that as one of our Thursday calls or if we're going to make an additional call, but we'll talk about that soon. But I know lots of people have been asking about back office and app training for this kind of stuff, and really just an opportunity to ask questions like, where exactly do I find the blah, 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 right? So, okay, great. So we'll do that sooner than later. Or maybe what we'll do is we'll add it on like 30 minutes before our call next week or something like that. For those that want to jump on, we can do that or something. So okie dokie. Anybody else before we head out? Anybody else? All right. Well, love to you all, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and hope to talk to some of you over the weekend. I'm sure we'll be hearing from you for three-way calls and all of those things, and just love all of you. So have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Thank you for your time.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Hey, Sarah, can you stay on for a second more? Because I missed the one part that I wanted to hear, which was
Yep.
what Chris